Alright, this is the first day since I got back from Utah that I don't feel like a pile of garbage. And the first thing I decided to do with my newfound freedom is go see Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. A lot of people are loving it, a lot of people are hating it, and some people are just taking it for the fun little romp that it is. The title still sounds like it's a Fall Out Boy song waiting to happen. The DC animated intro still sucks, but I digress. But yeah, this movie's plot is pretty basic. Harley and the Joker have split, and the protection that being the crown prince of crimes, Boo, has afforded her over the years is pretty much gone. And everyone she's ever messed with or moderately annoyed is out to get her. Particularly this guy. She rattles off a super long list of reasons why he hates her, but for the most part it seems like he's gonna lay her out because he's having a bad day after losing this big old diamond to this little old girl. And the rest of the movie is basically just dedicated to protecting the girl and hoping she shits out the diamond before someone stabs her in the gut. But before we can even get into the movie, let's just start with some of the complaints that I've been hearing for months now, and before, the movie even came out, before anybody even had a chance to watch it. People are saying that the characters are not sexy enough and that they're actually disgusting because being sexy saved Suicide Squad. Oh my god. Like, there are literally people out there that are complaining about the quality of this movie in relation to the fact that the main characters make their pee-pee sad. If Margot Robbie looking like this doesn't do it for you, I don't think Margot's the problem. And the same thing applies to Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Huntress. She is a babe. And look at all these weirdos upset that she's just ready to kick ass. She still looks hot as hell. She's also just functional. And her existing like this in this movie doesn't take away from the fact that you can look at her like this and enjoy it, you weirdos. So let's just start off with some of the things I like. So first off, Margot Robbie is a fantastic Harley Quinn, and I think that this movie does an even better job letting her play with that character in a way that really reminds me of watching Batman the Animated Series when I was a kid. She really steps into that role perfectly. She nails the accent, the behavior, the twisting of the sympathy with the fact that she's just this psychotic, unhinged person. She plays that in all the right ways, and it's just a genuine joy to follow her around on screen. I love the fact that overall DC is cluing in that they should just be letting directors come in and do what they want. Their attempts at creating a cinematic universe completely blew up in their face, but I think it's because of that absolute failure that we're getting some of these more unique projects like Birds of Prey, like Joker, and even Shazam. And based on James Gunn's tweets, it seems like they've been letting him run his show with the Suicide Squad reboot, which can only bode well for them. He is very good with these fun team-up movies. He did The Impossible with Guardians of the Galaxy, and with Margot Robbie really stepping into this role for this movie, I'm really hoping for the best when it comes to Suicide Squad, and find myself not excited, but at least somewhat looking forward to what DC has on the horizon, when for a while it was just an entire sea of shit. I adored the colors and the cinematography in general. This whole movie was just a treat to look at, from the lighting to the set designs. It fully enters moments of hyper-stylized Technicolor that just works so well for Harley as a character. And again, just showing you can keep things dark and bat-centric while still livening them up with rich colors. Not everything needs a blue wash. The fight choreography was super fun, which, as someone who often gets bored in fight scenes in a lot of these movies as much as I love them, that's saying a lot for me. I genuinely enjoyed watching everything that was happening on screen. There's a scene where she just tears through a police department, which is just so well handled and utterly enjoyable. Like, she's hitting people with beanbag bullets, smoke bombs, and glitter grenades. It's the perfect choreography and fight style to pair with someone like Harley Quinn, and it stands out. The only thing I wish we had gotten more of in some of those fight scenes was Brucey. I love the running monologue and fourth wall narration breaks, which again suit Harley perfectly, but occasionally that got a little bit too scattered. Everyone's complaining about Little Women's timeline, but Harley takes like a 20-minute detour to explain what Huntress is up to. That would have probably worked a hell of a lot better if they had managed to condense that into something that was like 5 minutes and then established why Harley knew to be looking for a character in a separate way. But I did love Huntress. I want like an entire movie about that side story. I just think that there was like a better way to implement it. I personally love what Ewan did with Black Mask, but I wish there was more to chew on there with him. The best villains out there have something that audiences can begrudgingly relate to. And I don't think you always need that if you can at least find a way to make a character interesting and captivating, or at least find a way to make them the counter to the villain that you have on on screen. So Joker doesn't really have anything that people can relate to, but he provides this perfect antithesis to Batman that makes him an interesting character. So if you don't have that villain that can be the antithesis or the villain that can be relatable in some way, like a Thanos or a Magneto, you're kind of lacking on the thing that takes a villain from being good to great. And while Ewan sells the shit out of the role, his tantrums and deluded behavior is great. I just wish that had lended into something more for the audience to grab onto and know about that character. Because essentially it just comes down to him being like a crime boss trying to get a diamond and then wanting to kill somebody because, he's having a bad day. I think the same thing can kind of be said about pretty much every other character in this movie. Harley is obviously the focal point, and I think we all knew that was going to happen. And that's not to say I don't like the other characters. I think the building blocks with them are great. This just shouldn't have been called Birds of Prey for a variety of reasons. For one, it markets terribly, and two, it's kind of like this movie served as a jumping off point for a Birds of Prey movie, not as a Birds of Prey movie. This literally just should have been called A Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. If they wanted it to be a quirky title, they should have just gone with that secondary title. But what we did get from those other characters was great. I loved Black Canary. I thought she was kicking ass with those snazzy gold pants. And while I'm already a huge Mary Elizabeth Winstead fan, her take on Huntress was awesome. Like, we get the flashbacks of what happened in her origin story. I want her full origin story. Like, she's very fun. I loved her portrayal of the character, and I really hope we get a chance to see more of her and more of that. Like, there's a really nice moment where every time she's going through all these different people call her something, and then she's just like working on this really intense name. It's just like Huntress. Now, obviously, Cassandra Cain wasn't really Cassandra Cain. They kind of have like one little moment where it alludes to what her actual character would kind of be like, but I don't know why they didn't just go with a different character or a different name or just make her like a random person. That's a nitpick, obviously, from a comic book side of things, but I actually did really like her character. She was enjoyable. So if they had managed to fix some of those character issues and flesh out the plot a little bit more, this could have been a truly great movie. It was super enjoyable. I loved watching it. I would gladly watch it again, but there's just a couple things holding it back from reaching what I believe to be its full potential. Overall, this ends up being what Suicide Squad should have been aiming for tonally, something way more grounded with a rogue gallery of baddies tearing things up in a super fun way. Is it perfect? God no. Did I have fun watching it? Absolutely. But I guess none of that matters because some people's peepees just didn't get hard while they were watching it. Sad cowboys in the chat. Okay, obviously I'm just having a little bit of fun there. I'm not implying that the only reason why you wouldn't like this movie is if you didn't find the main characters attractive. Just commenting on some of the stuff that keeps popping up on Twitter. But if you have seen the movie, let me know what you're thinking down below. Try to keep it civil. I realize that movie opinions are basically political statements, but I believe in us. We can do it. So let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section down below. Hope you're all having a fantastic day, and we'll catch you all later.